If you've been struggling with your e-com brand for months or even years, and you're hoping that the marketing agency will come in, sprinkle some magic, and make it all work, then I have bad news for you. No marketing agency can fix a fundamentally broken business. If your margins are bad, your product isn't selling without discounts, and your customers don't care, then no amount of emails, ads, or SMS can save your brand. See, I talked to hundreds of e-com brand owners in the last decade, and many of them say, I just need to find the right agency to help me scale my brand. But when I look under the hood, I realize they don't actually have an agency problem. They have a fundamental business problem. Good marketing agencies can multiply a good foundation. If you don't have one, you'll just burn money. In this video, I'll show you the exact signs you don't actually have an agency problem, so you can save yourself the disappointment of hiring yet another agency that doesn't move the needle for your business. So let's get into it. Signs you don't actually have an agency problem. The first one is that you've worked with a ton of these agencies with no success. If you've hired 3, 4, or even 5 agencies and none of them worked out, it's time to consider the common denominator here, which is your business. It's very unlikely that every single agency is incompetent. Far more likely, you're actually trying to outsource foundational business issues and hoping marketing agencies will magically compensate for them. The second sign is that you don't actually have a great product to market fit. If your product isn't consistently selling organically without paid media or email campaigns, that's actually a red flag. Agencies can multiply demand, but if the market doesn't actually want what you're offering, then marketing just becomes expensive noise. If you have to jump through hoops just to get someone to convert, then the focus should be on the product. The third sign is that you have low margins, and this is a huge one. You can't outmarket poor margins. If your profit per order is already thin, then scaling with ads or with email or influencers just amplifies how fast you're going to lose money. Agencies can't solve that with copywriting or flow optimization. They need room to grow your brand profitably. Poor margin economics is going to put a plateau on your brand and limit it from scaling. The fourth one is that you have terrible customer retention. If people buy once and never come back, then most likely they were not happy with the product or found a better alternative. Email SMS will maximize retention, but only when there is something worth coming back for. Here are some reasons why people don't come back. The first one is bad product. They just didn't like the product. The second one is bad customer experience. So even if you have a decent product, but you have a bad customer experience, then that will leave a bitter taste in your customer's mouth and they will go to your competitors. The third one is setting up the wrong expectations. The fourth one, people only need to buy it once. And this is a problem with brands that sell products that customers only need to buy once. They really need to figure out a way to increase their customer lifetime value by creating complementary products or replenishable products that customers can come back for. The fifth one is shipping was too slow. And the sixth one is packaging was bad. This has become increasingly more important in the last few years. And you'll see that a lot of successful e-com brands pay a ton of attention to their product packaging because it's part of the purchase experience. The fifth thing is that you don't understand your ICP. And this is probably the most important thing to understand if you want to continue scaling your brand profitably year over year. Think about it. CEOs of multinational companies spend time talking directly to their customer base just to understand their ICPs better. This is from Starbucks, from DoorDash, from Amazon, etc. Understanding your ideal customer profile is the number one highest leverage thing that you can do for your brand. If you can understand their pain points, their desires, their values, their dreams, etc., then it'll become effortless to sell to them. The sixth one is that you're focusing on the wrong things. So identifying bottlenecks is sometimes very, very challenging. However, it's one of the highest leverage things you could do for your business. So let's say that you're paying for traffic, for example, when you don't have a solid capture and retention email and SMS program in place, or your website's conversion rate is poor and you want to spend the money on an expensive marketing campaign. The third one is that you're focused on front and return on advertising spend when your LTV is very, very bad. A fourth example is that you're running sales to increase the immediate revenue, but you don't realize that this will devalue your brand long term and condition people to wait for these discounts. So a quick story is that a few years ago, I worked with an e-com brand where the founder was actually the bottleneck. He was such a control freak and wanted everything to go through him. He didn't have any time to focus on high leverage things that could actually move the needle. The brand had really high potential, but it eventually failed after a few years. So the seventh sign you don't actually have an agency problem is that you cannot continue to innovate. But a lot of founders would say, hey, Coca-Cola has been selling the same product for decades. That's true, but they have made a lot of innovations even though their formula has not changed much. For example, they came up with new product variants like the Coke Zero, Cherry Coke, Coke Energy, new flavor drops like vanilla, mango, etc. They now own multiple brands like Vitamin Water, Fanta, Sprite, Smart Water, etc. They have made leaps in innovations in terms of global distribution. They continuously come up with new innovative marketing campaigns like Share a Coke campaign, which is bottles with name printed on them. Simple product, but massive emotional impact. And the result has been an increase in US sales for the first time in 10 years because of this campaign. Another one has been the collab between Coke and the Stranger Things, the franchise, the TV show. Brought back new Coke from the 80s as part of the Netflix tie-in, mixing nostalgia with virality. This is inevitable in business. If you can't continue to innovate your product offering, distribution, and marketing, then your brand will eventually plateau and die off. I've seen this so many times. So in conclusion, make sure you understand the bottlenecks in your business before hiring another marketing agency. Let's say, for example, you nailed one channel like Shopify and want to expand, then hire a specialist in the other channel, which is, let's say, Amazon. If your product is selling great organically and you just want to scale faster, then hire a paid media agency. If your product is selling great, even though your website is horrendous, then hire a conversion rate optimization agency. If your retention is decent, but you want to make it great and increase your LTV, then hire an email and SMS marketing agency. And let's say you have all the pieces in place, but you have no time to grow your brand, then hire an operator. So speaking of increasing your customer retention and lifetime value, we're happy to offer you a free ClickView audit where we show you exactly what's missing in your account, what could be improved, and how much more revenue you'll be able to generate when all of the improvements are implemented. Our clients generate between 35 to 50% of their total revenue from email and SMS. So if you look at your dashboard and you see anything below 35%, then there are a few improvements that you can implement to generate more revenue from email and SMS. And when you do that, your ads ROAS is going to go up, your conversion rate is going to increase, and so is your average order value and customer lifetime value. This will make your brand more profitable and it will allow you to spend even more at the top of the funnel to scale faster. So click on the last link in the description to schedule a quick 15-minute call with me. As you can see here, we helped Ryan from Wholestory go from 12% to 40% of attributed email SMS revenue. We helped Dana from Kingsman Premium consistently stay over 40%, and we peaked at 53%. And we also helped Sachin from Fluoro Store increase his email revenue by 7x in just a couple of months. And if you'd like to watch these videos and more, check out our website at powermymarketing.com. So found this video helpful? Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one.